everybody else on set, they play a role between cut and action, but an actor, it's his job between action and cut. The 1965 war was a very key war in our Indian history. It was the first war where the Air Force played a very crucial role. Facts are stranger than fiction. I have goosebumps thinking about it right now. Because when I saw the door when I was entering, it said Mrs. Devayya, and she's still waiting for him. The most memorable thing for me would be to learn action from the action superstar himself.
Hello everyone and welcome to this special podcast with an exciting new face in Bollywood, Veer Pahariya. Veer is all set to make his Bollywood debut in the highly anticipated aerial action film Skyforce alongside none other than Akshay Kumar. In this film, Veer plays the character of legendary Mahavir Chakra recipient Squadron leader Ajjamada Boppayya. Skyforce is set to hit the theatres on January 24th, just before Republic Day, and promises to bring us high-octane action that invokes elevated sense of patriotism. Welcome to Republic, Veer.
Thank you, Isha. Thank you. The pleasure is all mine.
And first of all, a lot of congratulations to you for your first movie. This is your Bollywood debut. What's the feeling?
It's incredible. I've waited for this my whole life, and I finally feel like my dreams are coming true, and I can't be more excited to share the film with everyone.
Veer, what I read about you, you were an assistant director with Maddock Films, right? You worked closely with the production team. How was the work there? How was the experience? And what has been your learning curve since then?
I started working in the movies around 2014, and I assisted on a few films, and my last one as an assistant being Bhediya, which is produced by Maddock Films. On that journey, what I understood is the importance of every single unit member on set. Everybody else on set, they play a role between cut and action, but an actor, it's his job between action and cut. So that is the main difference that I learned behind the camera and in front of the camera.
Right. You know, Ranbir Kapur, Siddharth Malhotra, and if we say Vicky Kaushal, they all were ADs. So do you think there's a point that people should not go to film schools but become ADs and they are learned for the rest? So what is your take on that?
I personally feel if anyone wants to learn anything, it's best to learn on the job. I have tried my luck at everything. I started as a production assistant on a film called Alone and a film called Bazaar. And then I worked in the recce to understand production direction. I tried a bit of like sound engineering, I did sound design, music, I learned it all. I've also rapped for certain ad jingles, and I've had stars like Arjun Kapur lip sync to my voice when I was 19 years old.
Okay, that's great.
So from there I got a lot of confidence because I started being invited to college festivals, etc. I started building a small audience. And that kind of got me ready for this moment where I actually had to face a bigger audience and a bigger crowd. So yeah, I believe that really doing the job will teach you more than a classroom ever would.
So how is your movie different from, Ajay Devgan did a Bhuj, and then Hrithik Roshan did a Fighter. So how is this movie different from the first two? Like, what is the difference? How will you ask your viewers to watch the movie?
So I think first things first, the 1965 war was a very key war in our Indian history. It was the first war where the Air Force played a very crucial role. The war being the backdrop, this film is about our unsung heroes because not much is available for us today in the database to understand, and it's very important for the next generations and from Gen Z, Gen Alpha onwards to understand what our forefathers did and how they fought for our freedom so that we could have this conversation today. So not only is this a story that covers history, war, our heroes, but it's also a very human story because it talks about friendship, about love, about sacrifice, and the most important thing that exists in our culture and in all human beings, which is loyalty. How a friend can wait for 23 years to get another friend justice is what the crux of the story is.
So, Veer, when you first read the script, you also met Ajjamada Boppayya's wife. That post went viral on Instagram. How do you, define that meet? So, what was the feeling all about? Like meeting the wife of a soldier who has done a lot for the country. How was that feeling?
Firstly, Skyforce is a film which is based on Mahavir Chakra squadron leader A.B. Devayya. He was a very esteemed, distinguished Air Force pilot that we had in the Tiger Squadron, which conducted the impossible mission on the Sargodha, the most protected, secured airbase in Pakistan. He had his delayed glory. Only 23 years later, the government and the Air Force and his family found out about what he had done and how he took those steps that could win us the war. Anytime a biopic is made or a story on a life, it is so unbelievably true that unless there is proof that this existed in the pictures, it is almost like fiction, because sometimes facts are stranger than fiction. So when I was so attached to this film for 3.5 years and during the prep, it was almost absurd to me how it's possible that this can be a true story. But because it's from the point of view of his wife for 23 years who waited for him, she's 90 years today, by the way, and she remembers everything. I have goosebumps thinking about it right now. Because when I saw the door when I was entering, it said Mrs. Devayya. And then she keeps looking at his picture, and it's been 60 years to the war, 65 and 2025, and she's still waiting for him. She never remarried. So that is something that really, really touched.
This is your Bollywood debut. Right. Now, you had to adapt to a character. How did you adapt to that character? You dwelled into history, you dwelled into what made you feel कि नहीं मुझे करना है, this role I can do it, and this is your Bollywood debut, and Bollywood debut with this movie, with someone so honorable. So what do you think was your experience like dwelling into the character, and how was the experience?
Firstly, I feel as an actor, we are very lucky that we get to live so many lives. I think that's the most exciting part about it. I am an artist since as long as I can remember, and I don't think I was very interested in history growing up. But when I got the chance to play a biopic of such a great, legendary Air Force pilot, I could not contain myself. I really, really dived into it because I've lived in a city mostly. I've lived in Mumbai, I've grown up in Delhi. But getting into this and to understand the airbase and the nuances of a fighter pilot, the energy that they have, the patriotism, the fire that they have, it was very important for me to make sure that it is my second nature. It's not something that a pilot can catch. I want an Air Force officer or an Air Force member to watch it and be like, okay, he did it correct. He's got the body language, the salute, the stance, the nuances, everything correct. So that is something that I really worked on, and I was fortunate that my production house, Maddock Films, they sent me to a few Air Force bases in India where I could mingle with Air Force officers, fighter pilots who are my age, who are, serving the nation, putting their life at risk every single day, going up to the sortie, not knowing that they can come back, whether they will come back. So it is something that really inspired me, it really stayed with me, and it is something that not many civilians know about. But as a youth of this country, and as a citizen of this country, my job is to contribute as much as I can to the country and the youth of this country. So through this film and through my work, that's what I aspire to do.
Will you say your preparation was really hard? Delving into that character, that sort of character, was that difficult for you?
So I think two things were very, very intimidating and challenging for me. The first one being what you're just saying. The fact that it was a biopic of a real soldier who has played such a big impact on our history and our defense services. He's so respected and so celebrated. The second thing was obviously to face the camera with a superstar like Mr. Akshay Kumar. So yes, the preparation was definitely very necessary. I was very, very frightened. I was very intimidated. I think it's a normal human reaction to have, an emotion to feel. But I didn't let that stop me. I took it as a challenge, and I thought that if I put my heart and soul and everything into it, then there is only one way through. So yeah, that's something that I really put my.
So you took the name of the superstar Akshay Kumar.
Oh yes.
So how is it like to work with such a workaholic kind of a star who has given a lot? We have seen his interviews, we've seen him, he wakes up at 4, he does this workout kind of a thing. So how has this been to work with such a superstar? How has your experience been working with him?
So like I said, I was of course intimidated when we started. because he's so experienced and so versatile in every genre. But the moment we started working together, I realized that the reason he has stuck around and reinvented himself for so many years is because he never feels like he knows it all. He's willing to learn every single day. He says that he's a student even today. I saw him at a set the other day, and he said, I'm in student mode now because I'm here to learn, and life is all about learning. So, the fact that he does not, hold himself back thinking that, now I can be relaxed, now I know it, is what his fire is. And today he has the hunger of a newcomer. I feel his enthusiasm, his stamina, his fitness, and also his urge to grow and be his best is that much of a 20-something-year-old newcomer. So that is something that really, really inspired me.
I guess the audience wants to know that what was the memorable moment from your sets? Like, what is the bestest moment from your shoot? Like, you will still remember. What's that?
I think it was a VFX heavy film, a very, very ambitious film to make. And we shot at various places around the world. But I think the most memorable thing for me would be to learn action from the action superstar himself. I got to learn running cinematically, how it's done for the camera in a heroic way. He taught me how to jump for camera. He taught me how to take impact from blasts and a lot of harness work. He also taught me how to emote from my eyes in the cockpit, which is something he's so fantastic at. But most of my learning was just observing him and spending time with him because his energy is so infectious and so youthful that one can't help but just admire him for how great he is.
Yeah, great. So, are there any changes in your life that you've made after getting into the character, and you think your perception has changed for the Indian Air Force?
To be honest, I've always been a fan of the defense forces of India, and especially the Indian Air Force. I'm very obsessed with fighter jets and the fleet that we have. And I was very, very fortunate and blessed to witness them in their true flesh, whether it was the Sukhoi Su-30s or the Mirages or the MiG-21s and the Tejas, Jaguars and so on and so forth. I have nothing but respect for them because they are so well read in terms of all the details of the plane and all the engineering, etc. But it's also their passion and their fire for flying and the motherland that has taken them there to risk their lives every single day so that we can sleep in peace. So yeah, huge amount of respect for them, and yeah.
Veer, it was nice talking to you. Hope people like your movie and you shine.